Money. A lot of people don't have it. But, we need it. We need it to pay our groceries. We need it to pay our phone bills. We need it to get around the world, to like literally do anything. It's actually kind of sick how we need to work like a dog day and night just to afford to live. People can be really weird about money, and everyone has a different relationship to it based on how they were raised, based on what job they have or don't have, how they're paying for their education. If you know anything about money, it's that one thing that you don't really want to talk about with the people close to you, like your friends, your family, your romantic relationships, because it makes things awkward. Because of how personal it is and how intrinsic it is to like live, it can be a very sensitive topic to people. And that's why it's perfect that we have evolved to be able to create money transferring platforms like Venmo and Cash App so that we can send each other money in very easy and quick ways. But at what cost? At what cost? As great and fun and convenient as like Venmo and whatever can be, I feel like it can also just make things really awkward. It's almost like you're doing business with your close relationships. It can get a little icky sometimes, or at least a little confusing, right? I never even dealt with Venmo until I came to college. And at first it was a little weird and confusing for me because I feel like when it comes to money and like any sort of relationship with anyone in general, like it's all about communication, right? I would get confused when, let's say I'd have a roommate, whatever, and they'd be like, oh, hey, I'm going to the store. Like, do you need anything? And I'd be like, oh yeah, like, can you get this, whatever? They'd come back and they'd be like, hey, that was $1. Can you pay me back? And for me personally, like, I'm like, $1? Like, is it that big of a deal? And maybe that's on me. Like, I shouldn't be making assumptions about other people's relationship with money, but it's like, oh, like, I feel like, if we're in this situation where like we're living together, like I could just buy you something next time and it would just like work itself out. Or at the very least, I feel like in that situation in particular, like that's something that like should be communicated beforehand. Be like, hey, I'm going to the store. Do you want something? You can just Venmo me back. Because if I knew that you wanted me to Venmo you back, I just would have gone myself. So I feel like first and foremost, it's all about communication. If you don't like communicate your expectations, that's just going to make things weirder. A prime example of that is hosting. The way that we grow up, we're going to have different interpretations of what being a good host is. I feel like if you're inviting people over, it's kind of weird to be like, hey, I'm inviting you over. You're a guest in my home. Can you Venmo me back for the chips that you ate? I get it. I get it if you do want people over, but you can't necessarily afford to like pay for all this food, sure. But at least like communicate that beforehand. Hey, would you be down to come over and could you pay me back for like what you eat, whatever? Like that's fine. I don't know. Like I still have questions about host etiquette in that sense, but like at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do, and you just gotta like communicate about it. Like that's fine. Whatever. Like it just kind of reminds me of those people that it just feels like it costs money to just like exist around them. Like, those memes. I don't even know if they're memes. Because you see these things and I'm like, are these people for real? Where it's like, yeah, please Venmo me back $5 for one sip of my drink and 3 fries. Thank you. That's weird. Like, I feel like that's definitely an extreme where it would feel like a transactional relationship at that point. Cause I'm like, damn, like, like what's going on? I feel like something that reminds me of that, which I guess I don't know. I don't know. It's like I'm stalling. It's complicated, but like there's one time where a friend was like, hey, like, do y'all want McDonald's? And she bought McDonald's, and then like months later, this is why I think it's crazy. Months later, she like texts us up and she's like, hey guys, so remember that time, August 31st at 10:59 p.m. where I got us McDonald's? Yeah, so I'm gonna need you to pay me back. And I'm like, damn, like I don't even remember this, John. I don't remember this, Casey. I feel like just tell me. Just tell me in the moment, like, hey, I'm gonna order this. Can you Venmo me back? Like, yeah, I'll do it. Or if I don't want to, I'll be like, I'm good. I will eat at home. I will eat at home today. I feel like it's like both of our bads for like making assumptions on like each other's parts to be like, she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna order this and they're gonna pay me back. And I'm like, oh, she offered to order this, so I guess she's just paying for it. Like, but months later, how do you remember that? Like keeping tabs? And that brings us to our next point, splitting the bill and paying each other back, right? And you know what? I'm the idiot. I'm the dumb because I went out with some friends and I put my card down twice. Not once, twice. Putting your card down once is already a gamble. Especially like if you don't really know the vibes of everyone that you're going out with. I don't know if I'm getting this back. Putting it twice, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. And I was dumb. I was feeling like Mr. Moneybucks for a second. Hurts my heart, honestly. Breaking my heart, yeah. Here I am, feeling like the villain. I feel like some mean old broker, someone's nasty landlord being like, hey, where's rent? Like, oh my God. And it's like, sometimes I'll take the L. If it's one person, like, ouch, but whatever. But when multiple people don't pay you back, it's like, wow, I can't afford this, John. And also, it's just like, it's not even about the ouchie to my bank account. Cause believe me, ouch! Little Miss Double Digits is screaming for her life right now, okay? Like, it just hurts. It hurts my feelings. And I'm like, damn, like, am I in the wrong for asking you for this? Like, am I the asshole for asking for my money back? When we have these, like, relationships where we're, like, Venmoing each other back, like, it can almost feel transactional. Sometimes I like treating my friends for things when I can afford it. It's a nice thing to do. Like, it feels good to be able to, like, pay for your friend's coffee one time. I'm not the type of person that is, like, keeping tally of, like, what everyone owes me, because the relationship is more important than money. Now, there's a YouTuber that made a similar video like a couple of days ago. I think her name is Tiffany, whatever. That's not why I'm making this video. I'm making this out of spite. I'm making this because I'm petty. That's why you see me here talking to you right now. I am petty. Queen of pet. Dating. Right? Dating and money. I feel like dating in general is weird. And like people have very different expectations and experiences with dating. Like some people, if you ask them out on a date, they're not paying. They're keeping their wallet in their purse. Okay? It's not coming out. And to an extent, I get it. Like, I feel like if you ask someone out on a date, the nice thing to do is to at least offer to pay. I have had people ask me out to coffee, ask me out to boba, and be like, yeah, we're paying separately, right? Oh, Johnny boy, the pipes, what? Like, it's just weird. Like, it makes me feel like we're not on a date. It makes me feel like we're on an associates meeting. If anything, we're having an interview. And, people be like, oh, like, what if they can't afford it? Da 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 da. Why did you ask me out here then? If you can't afford it, baby, here's what I want you to do. Go to your local farmer's market, collect some free samples, put it in a box, call me up. Hey, girl, we're going to the park. We're having a picnic. You can't afford it? Collect some leaves off the ground, get a glue stick, 2 pieces of paper. Hey girl, we're making collages. It's the thought that counts. Like, don't ask someone out somewhere that you can't afford. Like, if I'm asking someone out, regardless of their gender, whatever, if I ask them out somewhere, it's nice to at least offer to pay. But I get like why like some people like feel weird about that, or why people like wouldn't necessarily like feel comfortable with like the other person paying. Because it's like, okay, like I feel like it just like raises the expectations of the date and like makes it feel like they're expecting something from me. Dude, oh my God. Some people will pay on the date because they think you're gonna pay them back in other ways. If you know what I mean. Just sick in the head. I mentioned this in another video. This guy asked me out on a date and he told me while on the date, like he paid for my dinner. He said, like later on, he was like, yeah, like this girl wanted me to take her out, but like I could tell that she just wants people to like take her out and she's not even gonna do anything after. Honey, let me tell you something. I am worth more than your $15 dinner. I am worth more than your $15 dinner. I can tell you that right now. I can tell you that right now. It actually makes me ill to this day. It actually does make me ill to this day. Very disgusting, man. So I get like why people might feel weird about like someone else paying for them, but otherwise, like I feel like it's a nice thing to do to like offer to pay. If you're the recipient of like someone offering to pay, being like, oh, are you sure like you don't want me to like split, whatever. Like it's just I think it's just like a nice thing to do. Like, show that you're considering the other person, show that you're like trying to show that you care, like whatever. Dude, if someone like, no one's ever done this to me. I mean, honestly, I've been through worse, but like no one's ever done this where like they Venmo requested me for a date. That's sick and twisted. That is sick and twisted. I'm going home. You are not speaking to me again. Now that feels like a transactional relationship for sure. I feel like this is like a whole other topic because it's like some people treat dating and taking people out to dates and like paying for their meals or whatever as a transactional relationship because they're expecting other things later. if you are offering to pay, you should be doing that out of the goodness of your heart because, you're wanting to like spend time with this person because you're not expecting anything back because you're just genuinely trying to get to know them. If you are like expecting, especially something like other than money, you're gross. You're gross. You're creepy. A little complicated, but yeah, that's my take. That's my take on dating. I know there are some stereotypes when it comes to money where like rich people are stereotyped to be like super stingy with their money and they will charge you for pennies. And like poor people or people who grew up like not really having money are a lot more generous and like they're a lot more like kind with their money and understanding. I get it. Honestly, I do think it's true to an extent. Oh my God. Like, I think like Tiffany mentioned this in her video as well. But like people that would like make a profit over Venmo requesting you because like they'll like pay for a dinner for the group, whatever. And then like they'll Venmo request you back. And you find out that like their parents are paying for their credit card bill and they're just like making money off of you. Like that's kind of sick. That's kind of genius. It's sick. It's sick and it's bad. I wouldn't do that. It's bad. It's bad. Like, I mean, that's really sick, actually. Like I feel like it's definitely like true to an extent. Like I've experienced it like my own life where like, my friends that, didn't have as much money growing up, whatever, like, or like weren't rich, like they're like a lot more generous than like people that maybe were like, but at the same time, like I feel like we shouldn't make assumptions about like other people's financial situations and their relationship with money. I was in a situation which was twisted and sick for so many reasons. Just a crazy situation in general. But I had friends, we're not friends anymore, but I had friends that they got upset with me because I wouldn't sell them my very expensive ticket back at like a discounted price. Keep in mind, at the time I was broke. Like pennies to my name broke. I needed that money back in full. And they were like really weird about it. They were like, her parents help her out with money. Like they could just like give her money. Johnny boy, first of all, my parents at the time, their refrigerator broke. They didn't have a refrigerator. They were eating out of a cooler with ice. It's not like that. Second of all, what do they have to do with this in the first place? I bought this ticket with my own money. What? Like, that was crazy to me. Like, just like making so many assumptions and being so wrong. Like, you look stupid. You look dumb. And you look like an asshole. Shut the fuck up. Sorry. Situation gets me a little hot. Yeah, very sick, very twisted. Like they're making all these assumptions about me and like my financial situation and like my relationship with money that was just like not true. And also like not even their business. Like I just feel like sometimes we do like make assumptions about people. And I've done that in the past where I've been like, dude, like that's so weird that like they're, stressing about this. Like, don't they have this, that, and the third? I really don't know if they have this, that, and the third. I'm assuming. And that's my bad. I'm sorry to those people. I actually am like that is my bad. I feel like we owe each other grace, like not, like jump to conclusions because we don't always know. If like, damn, like I can't really say anything there. Like you got me there. But like if you don't know and you're just like making assumptions, like come on. Like I feel like we can also like give each other grace to know that like the way that people deal with money is based on like their past relationships with their family and like their own past experiences. Like maybe they're like so intense about money because their parents were like hounded in on them. Like they were always stressed about money. And so like now like they have an unhealthy relationship with money too. You know what I mean? And also know that sometimes you have to teach other people how to treat you. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That doesn't mean that they're a terrible person. And a lot of people are willing to learn if they're doing something that is like harming you or that is like inconsiderate. They'll like try and like change their behavior to be better. Like you just have to communicate that. And it can be awkward. It can be weird and awkward and uncomfortable, but it's for the good of the relationship. Overall, I feel like people can be weird about money, which, makes sense because the way our world is right now. And I think it's just like important to be considerate and to like communicate to each other, our expectations or like, especially if you're like close friends with someone, like, like what you're going through, to an extent. You don't have to share your life story, but communicate what the other person needs to know, to be able to like move forward. And because of how sensitive and personal like money can be to people, I try to make sure that, if I owe someone money, like I'll pay them back right away. Or I'll at least like, if we're going out to eat or something, like I'll offer to pay them back, because I don't want to make assumptions. I don't want people tracking me down months later because that was crazy. I don't need you tracking me down. I will ask you right now. Hey, do you want me to pay you back? And I'll do it, you know? Because you really don't know like if they need that money, you know, if they're like struggling, whatever. Just like to be considerate, like pay the person back, whatever. Don't make assumptions, offer to pay or offer to split, you know, if you're like going out with them. And just keep in mind that people might have different financial situations and different relationships with money than you do. And, you know, like that's fine. It's all about communication. It's not about the money, money, money. And also, if you do have like one of those friends or like someone in your life that is really generous with money, like just be mindful of like trying to like be considerate of them. And like it doesn't have to be like a 50-50 situation where like you always have to like pay them back, whatever. But it's like, you know, like sometimes like maybe you can like treat them or whatever. Like it's just about like being considerate about people and like showing that you care. All right. Bye.